guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be showing you how to make this very delicious vegetable soup. If you are a Nigerian living outside Nigeria and you can't find water leaf and ugu, which is also known as pumpkin leaf, then this video is for you. Or even if you can find ugu and water leaf, I want you to try this vegetable soup. It is so delicious and you will definitely love it. So for this recipe, you will need some cow tripe, which is also known as Shaki. And for my protein, I'll be using lamb. You can use beef or goat meat. You also need some stockfish. This stockfish has already been cooked. I usually cook it and put in my freezer so that whenever I need it, I'll just take it. I also have some dry fish, dry chili. You can use fresh chili if that's what you have. I also have some mushrooms. Yes, I love adding these mushrooms to my vegetable soup. It makes a whole lot of difference. You also need some palm oil. You also need some crayfish. I also have here some dry Ukazi leaves, 2 seasoning cubes, salt, red onions, and finally you need some spinach. There is no vegetable soup without vegetable, right? So I have here about 7 bunches of spinach. It sounds like a lot, but you will see the quantity I'll be left with after washing and cutting it. So now let's start cooking. So I'll start by cooking the meat first. So here I'm just putting the meat into a clean pot. I also added the cow tripe and the stockfish. Next thing is to wash the dry fish with hot water. Debone it and then add it to the pot as well. So now I'm just adding the onion and pepper which I blended. Add 2 seasoning cubes, some salt, mix it together to combine properly. Cover it and allow it to cook until everything is soft and tender. Notice that I didn't add any water yet, and that's because I want the meat and all of these things to cook in their own liquid first before I add any water. So that way the meat will be tastier. So while the meat is cooking, it's time to start preparing all the other ingredients, including the vegetable. So here I'm cutting up the mushrooms into smaller pieces. After cutting it, I'll wash it properly and set it aside for later use. Now I'm going to wash the Ukazi leaf and put it in a blender, blend it and set it aside for when I need it. And here I just gave the sink a quick wash because that's where I'll be washing the vegetables. Next, I'm going to wash the spinach. I'll also be blanching the spinach because, as you know, spinach contains a lot of water. And if you dare use it without blanching it, your soup will be so watery. So at this point, I'm adding some salt to the spinach. The reason I added salt is because salt helps to maintain the green color of the spinach. As in, salt keeps the spinach green and prevents it from turning brown. So after adding the salt, I poured in some hot boiling water. So I'm just going to leave that to soak for about 3 minutes. After about 3 minutes, I'm going to scoop it into cold water to allow it to cool off. As you can see, the green color is still there. And that's because I added some salt to it. So at this point, I'm going to squeeze out the excess water from the spinach. Now I'm going to cut it up nicely and set it aside for later use. This is what the spinach looks like after chopping and cutting it up. So now I'm going to check on the meat to see how it's doing. At this point, I added the mushroom. I also added some palm oil and crayfish. Then I'll just stir and mix everything properly. Cover it and allow it to cook for a few more minutes. Now that everything is properly cooked, including the meat and the mushroom, it is now time to add the vegetables. So first I'm adding the Ukazi, which I had already blended. I added some water to blend it in case you are wondering why there is water in it. So after adding the ukazi, I allowed it to cook for a few more minutes, and lastly I'm going to add the spinach. After adding the spinach, I'm just going to stir that slowly so that everything is well combined. Then I'll cover it and allow it to cook for 2 more minutes. And there you have it, guys. Our delicious vegetable soup is ready. Just look at this yummy goodness with a lot of obstacles. By this time, the aroma from this soup was disturbing the whole neighborhood. You can see that the spinach is still green and is not overcooked. At this point, I have to scoop them into the storage bowls immediately, and that way the spinach doesn't turn brown, because if you leave it in the pot, the heat in the pot will continue the cooking process and it will turn brown. Let me know what you'll be eating this vegetable soup with. Will you have it with semolina, pounded yam, or gari? So guys, that's it for today's video. Please do not forget to subscribe if you haven't done that already. Will you be trying this recipe? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.